What's happening, party people? We're going to kick off the day with a package from across the pond. Let's see what we got. Man, is this what I think it is? Bam! Man, I officially have all three sizes. I got the one from my buddy John. I got the big one from my buddy Manny. And my man James. Sent me the one I was missing. Got the complete set. All three sizes of lemonade. Man, I gotta get Elizabeth to make me some vinyl that says lemonade to go down there. I'm gonna work on that. Wow. This one seems to be missing the mirrors for some reason. Let me check the package, see if the mirrors came off in the package. Other than that, this is a fine machine. I don't know, look like it might be missing the rear plate too. I got to do some research and see if that was part of this thing. But this thing is looking good. Thank you, Brother James. Oh yeah. James from over there in Europe. Appreciate it, buddy. And looking for my mirror pieces, I found this little screw. That was a little strange, finding the screw. And then I went to pick it up by the frame, and the whole thing came apart, where you can see the interior. Look at it. Got a steering wheel. Man, it's a manual shift, boys. Look at that stick in there. Man, that dash and everything looks good. The instrument cluster looks proper. Rear seats, got the tailpipe. I guess that screw came out of here, which would have went in the front to hold the front down. So if I remove this weird security screw here, I could probably lift the whole thing up, put that screw back under the engine compartment to hold this body together. But yes, it even has disc brakes. We are good to go, folks. All three sizes. I had just a couple of notes I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to remind you, videos that are text do not come over well. They are coming over better, but they're still not good, depending on where you send them from. So if you can avoid texting me videos, I would appreciate it. Send them to WhatsApp. Send them to my Dropbox. I have a Dropbox you can send them to. Just send me a message. I'll send you a link to the Dropbox. You can also upload them to Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Send me a link to them. I'll be able to see them that way. But when you have an issue and you text message me a video to my phone, I normally can't do nothing with it to help you troubleshoot that situation. So it doesn't jam up this phone as bad as it did the last phone, but in general, it's a useless text message. So keep that in mind. I want you to know that I have Robert DIY 1 or 01 or Robert Spinner. If you search out those things, if you use Twitter, I'm using more TikTok. I have IG. I haven't started using Snapchat yet, but I do have an account on Snapchat that you can follow. So if you have those other platforms of social media, please do follow me over there. So when I get more consistent with posting stuff there, you can get those little things too. That stuff's going to be different than this stuff on YouTube, but it will be similar to the YouTube shorts. So hope you understand. I appreciate you watching. Thanks and have a great day. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicking off the Tinker Day with a Ford F150 Texas Edition sports model, 4-door, EcoBoost XLT. It has an air code what was the error code? P1450, which is a common code for a purge valve issue. However, let's show you what happened to this one. So we went and we looked at the purge valve, and the purge valve has a vacuum line that comes off the side of it right there, and it's supposed to be attached there, and it broke loose. So when this purge valve system is not working right, you have an issue with vacuum not happening right, and it causes the car to run extremely rough. So this is an intake tube going down to the turbo, your turbo inlet tube. Nipple broke off. Could have broke off for several reasons. Somebody leaned on it, somebody was trying to change the filter, check the oil, something, but for some reason it snapped off. So we're going to try to clean it up and epoxy that thing back on there, making sure we leave the vacuum port open so that it still works. So let's see if we can get the tube out of that. That's the nipple broke off there. That's where we got to glue it back onto. So we're going to pull that out of there. We got to take that little clamp, squeeze that clamp with pliers, pull it out of there, clean it off with brake parts cleaner, glue it on there with this epoxy that we got, JB Weld. Let that sit, harden, and then push that back on there. You could also make that hole a little bigger and screw a vacuum port in there, seal it off, and push that vacuum hose on there. There's a couple different options, but we're going to start off by trying the glue option. Big thing with the glue, you got to make sure you still have that vacuum port open so that the air gets through there. Now there's a slim chance, or a average chance, that this valve is still bad. This goes bad with mileage. But we're going to try to glue that on and see if that cures it first. This makes the vehicle hard to start after you get gas, especially. And sometimes just when you come to a stop, it's trying to pull the right amount of vacuum and it can't. And it just kind of makes the car suffocate a little bit, even with a little hole like that. A lot of vehicles nowadays are very sensitive to vacuum and vacuum leaks. So this thing has, man, about 5 different tubes connected to it. It's really kind of weird that so many things are connected to it. This thing doesn't have 2 turbos, does it? Work that out of the vacuum tube, so there it is. We're going to clean this up and try to glue it back on there. We put a Q-tip down in there to keep it guided straight. We got the epoxy around there. It should set in 6 minutes. So I'm gonna move that Q-tip in and out just to make sure it don't get stuck in there, and let that sit for as long as we can. It'll set in just 6 minutes, where that thing will be nice and hard, but it'll cure, they say, 4 hours to 3,100 PSI, whatever that means. You won't be able to break that off, that's for sure. We took the tube from the carb cleaner, pushed it down in the hole, made sure we still had a good hole in there. It is setting, so we're going to let that set a half hour. Then we're going to put a little bit more around the base of it to reinforce it, just to make sure we're not going to have any issues with that thing coming back loose. I don't think we will, but you just want to make sure. So you could buy and replace this tube if you have this problem, but this tube is almost 250 bucks, and then it'll probably cost the shop an hour and a half labor to put it on. So you're probably looking at $400 to actually replace that versus gluing this tip on with the JB Weld. We put a little bit more reinforcement JB Weld steel on there We got the clamp on the hose. We're going to let that sit. It says 4 hours total cure time. Then we're going to slide the hose on it and then slide the clamp down on there. We should be good to go. Now, if this created a check engine light after you get everything repaired, your vacuum line's hooked back up, if you don't have a scanner to clear your check engine light, you don't have somebody that does have one, a lot of times you can disconnect your negative battery terminal, leave it disconnected for about 30 seconds, reconnect it, start the car, and it will reset your check engine light. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.